reality and wisdom, being essentially one and non-different, share a common structure. The complex relationship between form and emptiness, or samsara and nirvana, the identity of mutually opposing elements together with the transformation of the former into the latter, also characterizes the relationship between false discrimination and non-discriminative wisdom. Moreover, this structure clarifies one of the central elements of Mahayana thought, the necessary unfolding of wisdom as compassionate activity in the realm of samsara. Among the basic Mahayana schools, it was the Yogacara that delineated most clearly the process of practice from the perspective of the practicer. Thus, this school casts the greatest light on the nature and functioning of wisdom in its various stages of development. In Yogacara thought, the Bodhisattva's entire career, from first hearing the teaching, is said to be characterized by non-discriminative wisdom. 3 kinds or levels of non-discriminative wisdom are distinguished: preparatory, fundamental, and subsequently attained. Practice begins with hearing the teaching of subjectivity only. The wisdom established by hearing is the shallowest level of non-discriminative wisdom. Although the term non-discriminative is used, the subjectivity still retains its activity of thought and conception, and it still harbors in its depths the discrimination characterized by the subject-object dichotomy. Thus, although people of this stage seek to realize the teaching of subjectivity only with no object, or non-discriminative wisdom, for them the teaching itself becomes an object of discriminative thought. Such thinking is termed thoughts and words based on discrimination, or manojalpa. Nevertheless, this thinking is also a kind of wisdom, preparatory wisdom, because it is born from hearing the teaching, and therefore differs from the inverted and defiled discrimination of samsaric existence. By advancing from hearing to reflection and practice, one gradually deepens the wisdom of the preparatory stage. The remaining discrimination is eventually eradicated, and the opposition of seer and seen is completely broken through. Objects of thought cease to be established, and even the concept of all things as subjectivity only ceases to arise. At this point, one realizes fundamental non-discriminative wisdom. All discriminative thinking vanishes, and one is said to touch suchness or emptiness. This point also signifies attainment of the stage of non-retrogression, which means that having once entered the transcendent realm, one will never again fall back into the bondage of samsaric existence. Attainment of fundamental wisdom, or the stage of non-retrogression, however, represents only the first of 10 great stages in the Bodhisattva's practice. They attain fundamental wisdom through profound contemplative practice, but they remain in complete objectlessness only briefly and soon emerge again into the world of discrimination. Because they have passed through eons of samsaric existence, a residue of blind passions still remains in the depths of the mind to be eliminated through the deepening practice of prajna, or non-discrimination. This process is represented by the remaining stages, from the second to the stage of Tathagata, or supreme Buddhahood. Tathagata, a synonym for Buddha, signifies one who has arrived at or emerged from suchness. In each of these stages, not only the stage of Tathagata, Bodhisattvas reach ultimate reality, for they see suchness at each stage. And the suchness thus seen is always the same. The true transcendent realm is beyond all speech and thought. But after entering, they emerge again into the world of words and thoughts, and then re-enter the realm in which thought is again eradicated. This is performed repeatedly. By doing so, the deep root of samsara and blind passions is thoroughly cut through. In this process, initial attainment of fundamental wisdom and entry into the stage of non-retrogression occurs with the first seeing of suchness. Hence it is termed the, quote, path of insight or seeing, close quote. After this, the seeing of suchness is repeated numerous times. This is called the path of practice.